Go ahead and go live on caffeine real quick if I can. Da, 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 da.
Yo, that's a blessing to be on caffeine. I love it.
All right. So let's see if he'll let me do it. Start. Come on. Hey, you guys. What's up? Happy Sunday to y'all. Welcome to another episode or recording of the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast. You see that I have Dwayne in the building, or Good Son, what we like to call him around here, and
What up? What up?
Country.
What up?
So we're gonna get started. I got some tech stuff happening on this side, so I am trying to get everything under control. So make sure if you are in here, you have joined us, go ahead on and share the broadcast. Start with your people. All right. So put this on my story here. All right. Here we go. All right, so it's sharing. We're running live on Facebook right now, and we'll be right back. Hold tight. All right, and we are back. Happy Sunday to y'all. So we're gonna get started real quick. So you fellas, how was your week, man? You know how we start all these episodes. How was your week?
Mr. Goodson, you go first.
Oh, mine is the same as always. It's like that. Remember that song as a kid? This is the song that
Oh, don't do
never
it! Don't do it!
ends.
Don't do it!
It
Don't
goes
do it!
on and on, my friend. Yeah, that's. It's been a good week though. I'm
Don't
alive,
do
so
it! Oh
everything's
man,
everything's everything.
that's what's up.
I now challenge everybody to get that tune out their head now
Oh
because
man,
it's
yeah,
gonna be
that's
stuck in everybody's
it's
head
stuck in
today.
there now, man. Like, why would you do
Yeah.
that? You know that song does that. So see, Dwayne, you
I
know what?
had to.
That's why you.
I
That's why
had
you my
to.
dude. That's why you my dude.
I had to
Kev,
make you smile for Sunday.
how was your week, Kev?
I'm looking in the camera and I'm seeing my hair is laying down, so it's ending great. Um, Shout out to my nephew for this Korean drink.
Slide it back over.
If I can
There you
put
go.
it in the camera, there we go.
There we go. Yeah.
If y'all don't have this in your life, please get some in your life. This is a blessing. All right. But other than that, man,
He been wanting to shout that out all
it's
day.
been okay. Yes. That's a shout out to my nephew, man. Baby Gabriel, man. That's my little man there. But other than that, I'm like Dwayne. Pretty much the same. We had a church retreat at my church. It was great. I learned a lot. Eye opener.
Yeah.
But other than that, man, it's been great.
Good job. I want to shout out E Digger. He's on caffeine. He just followed me, so I appreciate you, E. Make sure you share this broadcast out too, if you don't mind, brother. But I don't know if you can on caffeine. But anyway, we have a great topic today, right? So what we're going to do here at the Head Chronicles podcast is that we're going to start a series. I forgot the name of it. I named it and forgot it. Um, I don't know. Yeah, I got it somewhere over here.
You're getting old, sir. You're getting old.
I'm telling my age, I promise you. So just let you guys know, we are live on caffeine.tv. We are live on Facebook. This will be an audio podcast here in the next couple of days. So make sure you share the podcast out for me and this live stream. Also, Knucklehead Chronicles podcast.com is live. So if you wish to go and go to the website, subscribe to the podcast, do that. If you are a Apple owner and you want to give us a review, please do that as well. Okay. So yes, we are live on Caffeine TV. Come check us out. All right. Welcome to the show. Glad you guys are here. So if you are on Facebook and you're watching me, or if you're on Caffeine and you're watching me, make sure that you comment. This is a interactive show. Next week, we are going to have a phone line. So we're going to start taking phone calls on the show starting next week. So make sure that you guys are live. So if you guys were here last week, we talked about why men cheat. That was the topic of last week. Got a lot of hits, a lot of comments, and a lot of people were interested into why men cheat. So this week, I wanted to tackle the art of letting go. And the reason why I want to tackle that is because a lot of men and people do stuff because they simply won't let go of whatever was in their past, right? So I'm going to give you guys 5 reasons. Hey, Lene, uh, 5 reasons why we use the excuse of why we won't let go. So we're going to stop. I'm sorry. We're going to start right there. Top 5 reasons why we won't let go. So you guys want to take a stab? What do you think? Kevin, if you are you one of those people that's got something going on that hadn't let go of it yet?
Yes, and it happens a lot in our lives. And I'm gonna start with one of the top 2 reasons, in my opinion. One of the reasons we don't let go is because of the history of whatever it is, whatever history we have behind we don't want to let go. Mm-hmm. It has some type of sentimental value, whether it's relationship wise or whether it's a materialistic object. Mm-hmm. Thank you. We don't want to let go. So it tends to hurt, emotions get involved. Well, why are we throwing this away and such and such? So that's one of the main reasons why we don't want to let go.
Okay. Dwayne?
Well, I completely agree. And then I think there's a huge element of fear in there. My volume okay?
Yeah.
Now, I think there's a huge element of fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of the potential, fear of the that you might be losing. I think a lot of it is fear. And from that point, I think we see a whole lot of things start to build and play a part.
Did you kick your mic? She kicked his
mic. She might have.
I think she did.
No, my bad. I had it muted. They started getting busy in here.
Oh, okay.
And the babies.
I thought she had kicked your mic.
If for y'all that actually listening, not watching right now, those are some gorgeous babies. Let me tell you. And I offered to babysit, even though we ain't in the same city. I offered to babysit already, so I got first dibs.
Yeah. So again, you guys, keep in mind this is an interactive show. So the 6 of you on Facebook. Make sure you put your comments in there, and we're going to keep it rolling. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you, if you flash that water one more time, I'm going to cut your mic off. So we got 5 different reasons why people won't let go. All right. So, and Dwayne touched on like 3 of them, but we'll get into that. All right. So the first one we're going to tackle is that, I don't know, can you guys see that? Because I can't see your name. Okay. So the first reason why people won't let go of certain things or people, am I really quiet? Am I quiet, you guys? I'm good to go.
No, you're good.
Okay. Because Lene said I was quiet. First thing is we think we'll miss out. Miss out on what exactly is my question. Kev, you want to tackle that one? Why do you think we'll miss out?
We're going to miss out on what we... All right, so I'm going to go with relationship because there's a lot of people that don't want to let go of a relationship. I have some friends out there, and I really hope they pay attention because they do watch. Mm-hmm. And I hope it strikes a nerve, because like church, like my church, if the word is not hitting you where it makes you feel uncomfortable, then you're not getting the actual truth. So, and I want to say, I'll start off with relationship wise. So, in the relationship, you don't want to let go because you have like Dwayne said, you scared of what you're gonna miss out in the future. That's just plain and simple. And then you're scared that other people are not gonna want you. You got this fear in the back of your mind that, I'm not gonna be wanted, or I'm this and that. Your self-esteem starts to decline. Your health actually starts to decline after you getting depressed and so forth. So, there's a lot of things of, what you think you're gonna be missing out, but at the end of the day, you really ain't gonna miss out on much. Life continues whether you believe it or not, whether you down and out, whether you're happy or not, life is gonna continue. Yeah. So continue your path and go forward. Move forward. Do not be afraid. Do not be scared to take a leap of faith. Do not be afraid to just jump out on a limb and say, "Hey, I don't need this. I really don't." Yeah. There's so much emotion and fear behind what people say, and it's not healthy. It's not a healthy thing for you.
I'm gonna put
and
go ahead, Dwayne.
No, yeah, I'm with you, Kev. And look, here's a beautiful thing. Well, or the not so beautiful thing about it. Fear is always gonna be a driving force when it's something important or purpose. If you to an investment, right? Say you put it, say you got $20,000 in investment money, and there's some real estate property. You got to do some work on it. You got to build it up, but it has the potential to make you 80,000. But the initial investment is 20,000. That's what. So you put the 20,000 in. Mm-hmm. It comes to a point in that relationship where you may be able to walk away with your 20,000 still intact, but the investment is still on the table. And the problem is, some of us we aren't actively doing the work, or the work isn't actively being done to make that investment appreciate. So what we do is, the fear of it not coming to fruition, or the fear of somebody not putting the work in, or you may just not be ready for the investment. Mm-hmm. You want to keep money in the investment because it's $60,000 you can make. Right. However, it's gonna require work, and some people don't want to put the work in, but they don't want to lose the investment, so they stay.
Exactly. They rather deal with, they rather deal with that. So, my audio podcast listeners, I want you guys to understand that this is a live stream, so I'll be reading comments along with the podcast. So, we have a commenter, Anthony Alvarez, said, "I have."
Shout out to my boy Anthony watching.
What's up, Anthony? Glad you're here, brother. Have a friend that dragged out a relationship for years when it was clear it wasn't going to work. Afraid of loneliness and feeling like they won't find someone else.
And he hit it on the nail.
That you can drop the mic. We can end this podcast right now on that comment, because that's exactly what that was.
Can we get really real on that comment?
Go ahead.
Can we get really real on that comment?
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's go. Let's take it.
I'm finna open up a page in my life, right? And we probably and me telling this story is probably gonna touch on some things that all of y'all want to touch on, touch on, or that list of 5. Yeah. So, last marriage, I was married for 10 years, and she was an amazing woman. Nothing bad to say about her. I had a lot of things that I didn't heal from, and I messed up a lot early. And then when the relationship was pretty much finished, I had already gotten to the point where I valued what I had, but I had to let it go because it takes 2 to tango. And she had a real conversation. She said, "Look, I'll always and I appreciate what we had.
Mm-hmm.
But she was like, I'm finally at a point now in my life where I can stand on my own too. And that's why I can't do this anymore. So when she made up that when she was planning to or strategizing how to let go, she was making sure she was in a position where financially, emotionally, everything she was stable enough to stand on her own without me.
Mm-hmm.
And she stayed in the relationship because there was a part of her that wasn't ready for those stages.
Mm-hmm.
Now here's where it gets cloudy at. Like I said, I had turned the leaf. I did a 180. I was quote unquote the perfect husband at this point, but it was too little, much too little, much too. And when I got there, I drove. I remember Arizona to South Carolina, drive through Texas. One of the most somber moments I've a lot of guilt because I knew who I was. She knew who I was, and here's where the kicker: where after you move on, you don't let go.
Mm-hmm.
This is where I was. I said, how am I to be successful in any way, shape, or form in all the areas that she invested in?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what if I blow up? That was even more guilt because I'm like, now here's this person who spent all this time, all this energy invested in me, only for me to move past and then get to my destination. And the scary part was I was scared to be successful at that moment. I was scared of a real relationship. I was scared to even jump into a serious relationship. I didn't want anything to do with it because of fear. And what ended up happening was I was praying and meditating one day, and maybe I wasn't even praying and meditating. Maybe I was self-medicating. I don't remember the moment because I was a little messed up.
Mm-hmm.
God told me, He said, you are not responsible for other people's decisions. The only thing you're responsible for is your decision. So that was the moment where I had to realize it's all on me. Okay, the past happened, but you are not responsible for another person's decision. So you have to let go and move on accordingly.
Yeah. So let me say this real quick because you guys have made a couple of points already, but out of everything you guys said, the bottom line or the common denominator to all of this is fear. We've all
Mm-hmm.
used the word fear about 10 times since this broadcast started because fear is always have been the driving factor. I want you guys to also understand, hey Lilia, I want you guys to also understand, ladies and men alike, because you walk away don't mean you let go. Because
That is very
walking
true.
away is one thing altogether, right? You had enough courage to leave, but the process and what makes us stronger is the letting go. The old saying that I always live with is it's never the falling down in life that makes you who you are. It's the getting up. So it's all about it's definitely all about letting go, like for real, for real. Hey,
Yeah, like I
Lilia,
have.
says hey, second.
Hey, how you doing,
Well, that's all
little?
right.
Oh,
Hey,
and
V.
I'm glad she's on here too, and I hope she's watching because I get personal, and in order for me, I want to bounce off of what a little bit of what you said,
Mm-hmm.
Terry, and what Dwayne said. And I'm gonna get a little personal as I always do. I want y'all to know a little bit. I want people to know about me, and I figure some people like to learn offhand. Some people like to learn, from others' mistakes. And if you can learn from my mistakes, I was one of those that dragged out a relationship like Anthony. I was one of those. And it happened with my first long term relationship with my ex, and it was Lilia's cousin, my ex wife, and I dragged it out. I had that fear of where am I going to go next.
Mm-hmm.
I was I can't I'm not even gonna say the excuse that I was young because I should have had a mature mindset when I got married.
Right when you got married, Yeah,
You
that's
know,
right.
so when you get married, you need to have a mature mindset. Now, our relationship dragged let's say 3 to 4 months before we finally separated,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of that was on me. I will never talk about my ex-wife. Putting through what shouldn't be happening. We don't need that. So I want others to go out there. You know, if you have a relationship and it's very
Sorry, you
painful,
guys.
and you know there's no recovering from it, get out.
It should
Do
come back to the same.
yourself a favor mentally. Do yourself a favor mentally, and prepare yourself for the future. Because if you don't, it's gonna take a mental toll on you. You're gonna have some depression that kicks in. There's a whole wide world of emotions that is gonna kick in, and you are not prepared for it. And that was me. I was stuck in my own ways, and she was already ready to say, "Hey, let's let this go." Granted, at the end, when I finally decided to move on, she wanted to move, but it was at that point I was already on. I had already moved on, but it was my fault in the first beginning when I should have said, "You know what, you are right," which is that first mistake that I didn't do, which is admit fault.
Mm-hmm.
And I should have moved my happy butt on, but I didn't.
Right.
And as I always say, I should have had a Bible in my hand, because it would have helped me, and I know it's helping me now.
Right.
Having going to church and having something to actually go by and having some actual morals behind it. I That would have helped me in the past, and I didn't have
Right.
that. But
Right. What it sounded like, and I did the same thing, so I can speak on this as well with you, Kat, is that I hold on to stuff not because I wasn't mentally ready,
thank you, Ashley.
it's because I was selfish. There's a level of selfishness because you knew that it
Hmm.
was over,
Yeah.
but because a part of me is like, nope, because as men we have that mentality. Well, if I can't have her, can't nobody else have her. So a
And then
level
you
of that,
fight for it, right?
exactly, exactly.
Oh yes, yes.
So it
And
is,
and and see, that's part of that fear,
yeah.
that when someone goes on and they have what is thrown away and
Yeah,
enjoy that happiness, that should have been me.
yeah.
And you look at that and say, but you don't look at your own happiness. What could be your own happiness? You're caught in your own ways in your mind, so you're
Hmm.
playing with your own mind. You're living in your own head.
That's right.
No, this is not the way to go. You need to get up and move on. I should have done that.
Yeah,
And just like Ashley said, I granted I have accountability now, but I regret not having it in the past.
right.
So that still angers me to this day. I should have had that.
Well, let me um, throw a wrinkle to that, right? We
Thank
talking
you,
about
Vero.
the art of letting. We talking about the art of letting go, right?
Hmm.
But what about this? Before you can even get to the point of letting go, you have to understand you first and foremost.
Yeah,
And men and women, we tend to hold on for different reasons.
yeah.
Women are more the and I'm just talking in generalities, sisters.
Yeah.
So please don't stone me to death. But generally speaking, women are on the mental side of why I can't let go, the history and what we got, what we've built, and can't just throw it all away.
Hmm.
Dudes, we find some like I'll speak my mind. When I had issues letting go, my issues were this. I found 65, 70% of what I was looking for in a woman. And I was good with that. And
Hmm.
I could deal with it at the beginning. I thought I could 30% that I was missing.
Right.
And then you grow and then you don't want to let go of it because you're comfortable and you do love a lot of the aspects, but there's some non-negotiables in there or some things that you thought were, well, yeah, time will change this, or well, we can work on that. And then as time goes on, you realize, no, there's nothing on that. It's still irking me now more than it irked me back then. So we gotta identify why we don't let go.
Yeah.
Because that's what's holding us back. Like you said, like Kev said, you hold on to something and keep moving forward. You can. Just think about that visual, right? I want you to think about a relationship as a weight, a responsibility, not making it a negative thing, but it's a responsibility. You got to put time and energy into it.
Mm-hmm.
If you're putting time and energy into that relationship, and that relationship is counter whatever it is in life that you want to do or you're supposed to do, now you got this weight or this responsibility behind you as you're moving in the opposite direction.
Right.
And it's going to be extremely hard. Then you get frustrated.
Yeah.
When the frustration sets in, that's when the nerves get easily peaked. That's when you get hot-headed. That's when arguments start. That's when you go from everything being amazing to the point where you can't agree on anything and everything starts an argument.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right.
Been that.
So
I've been in that route.
Let's get through these comments real quick. I got a few comments here. Ashley says she's talking to Kevin when she says, "I love your accountability." Lita says, "You're a different man, Kevin. I have seen you grow." Ashley says, "I never thought of it that way. As far as she should have been mine." That's what the next comment. Real quick, my computer is having some issues and it keeps freezing. Well, actually, it stops the stream, but everybody's still here, so that's good. So it's just, if you're watching, if you get a frozen screen, just bear with us. It'll come back right. I'm going to get my computer fixed here probably tomorrow. All right, so we did the first one, and the first one says because we think we're going to miss out. And we're to tackle, we think we're giving up, and there's another reason why we won't let go. I think we're if it's going to freeze again. Here it goes. Yeah, so I held on to it. I went up to Illinois, stayed with this woman for 4 years, thinking that we was going to get back together, and I would not let go. Because I figured if I let go, I'm quitting. That was, number 2 is me. And I want people to understand that when you let go, because sometimes, like Dwayne was saying a little while ago, it's more damaging to hold on in most cases than to let go. Yeah, 4 years. 4 years, actually. You say went there in 2010, left out that piece in 2014 because I got tired. Number 2, we think we're letting go. We think we're giving up. I'm sorry. All right. Which thoughts, Kevin? Yeah, Kevin.
Well, I'll take that back to the first one. We think we're letting go. Why? Because we think we're gonna miss out. Again, and that was part of my issue. I thought I was gonna be missing out on the fun that we used to have and the memories. We created a lot of memories. Now I just found my hard drive, and there's a lot of videos that I have of my kids when they were small.
Boy, same thing just happened to me.
And I thought I lost it. I literally went into a depression at one point because I was like, man, I don't have any pictures of my kids anymore. But the reason I brought that up is because I thought I was missing out on memories. And I swore to you, I thought I was gonna be missing out on so much. Come to find out, if I'd have known the future Kevin, the Kevin that is right now, I'd have slapped myself and say, get it together, because I really didn't. The only thing I missed out on was just a relationship that was toxic.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. If we're being honest and we're being truthful, that was a toxic relationship for me. Yeah. And I have learned so much. The relationship that I'm in right now with my fiance is beautiful. We have great communication. Yes. We get on each other's nerves. I kid you not. And I love it too, because you know me. I'm foolish. I'm petty. I'm foolish, and I like to joke around and play and make things light.
Right.
But in the past, my relationship with my ex-wife was not so great. It used to be like that because we were high school sweethearts.
Yeah.
But you know, when we grew up, we got a house, we had our 2 kids, and it became more of a job. And you know, so it just turned sour after that. And I just had to learn how to self-evolve without her. So I look back on all these pictures. I had it on my big screen TV right here.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at back all these pictures, and I think, and it's literally no disrespect to her, but I look back and I go, I didn't miss anything. I had my kids. And I look back, there's nothing but videos and pictures of my kids on my hard drive, and I'm like, I have a lot, and I've lived a lot for them.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't need to live a lot for her. So that's what makes this relationship I'm in with my fiance so much more sweet. We don't live for each other. We live in a great relationship with God involved in our relationship.
Good job.
And it's a beautiful scenery.
Yeah.
We have our arguments like we normally do. We get our petty moments with each other. Oh, she gets me good.
I can only imagine.
But she at the end of the day, we know I'm not. If we're mad, we don't go to bed mad. We don't go to bed arguing. We know better.
Mm-hmm.
We're like I told her at the beginning of our relationship, you tired of getting it wrong? I'm tired of getting it wrong. Mm-hmm. So if we're gonna do this, we're gonna do it the right way.
Yes.
And that's what we've been doing, and it just keeps our relationship so fresh. And I you know, I think that's what we're missing. We're missing that key moment of, you know, we can give it up. We're not really giving up anything.
Right. All right. So this is what we're gonna do. I want Dwayne, I want you to respond, and then we're gonna dig into Ashley's question. That's why I left it up on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
So
I love that.
Dwayne, if you want to go ahead and respond, or we can just jump right into Ashley's question.
If it's okay, I'm gonna give a quick response.
Yeah, go right ahead.
And roll into.
Okay.
I think they kind of go hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
I think the first thing to realize is that statement. We think we're missing something, right? Mm-hmm. No, we think we're giving up. For a second, let's just have a moment of clarity, right? Mm-hmm. We think we're giving up. You had that only comes when you don't know you. Mm-hmm. I think I'm giving up. That's because I don't know who I am. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what my expectations are. Because if I did with certainty, I wouldn't have to struggle with the thought of, oh, I'm giving up. Yeah. It's either this is wrong and it's going to lead to this end,
right?
Or this is the right way and I'm just going to have to muscle through some of these tough times.
That's right.
Regardless of all of it, you have to know who you are.
Yes.
And when you know who you are, there's no thinking I'm giving up. It's either I know that this isn't the right, it's time for me to get off of this road, right. Or no, this is the road, it's going to be a little rocky, the weather's going to be rough, and I'm just have to ride through this.
Right.
It's one or the other.
Yeah.
There should be no thinking, and that's the problem. We all do too much thinking in the relationship instead of being objective.
Yeah.
So the rollover into Ashley's question is why do we
before you get into it, don't forget into it. Don't forget this is an audio podcast and they don't know what you're getting into. So the question that Ashley posted was, why do we get into a depression over a romantic partner? Let me repeat that for the folks in the back. And if you haven't shared this video yet, if you haven't shared this live stream yet, please share.
Please share it away. Don't share it.
You said you shared it because Facebook tells me you shared it. So
share it. Because here share it, but real quick. And not to make any. This is not. It's to me. This is. I take it serious because I'm here. We're here to help.
Yes.
And I really want people to see as an example, don't be a knucklehead like me, period.
Great segue.
So, get it out there, share it.
So, why do we get into a depression over a romantic partner? Dwayne, you're rollover. You're on mute.
Gotcha, my bad. So the rollover is this. Because we don't know who we are truly, I ain't gonna go to the biscuit this week.
Please don't.
Because we don't know who we are.
People love the biscuit.
Because we don't know who we are.
When
we get into relationships, especially relationships that are deemed serious, the one thing happens that nobody else get a chance to see. You're naked. They see all of you. You're vulnerable.
Yeah.
They know what makes you tick. You know what makes them tick. They know your dreams. Mm-hmm. Look, every person who's been in a serious relationship, one of those relationships that you cry at the end of the relationship because it's coming to an end.
Yeah.
Seeing you at your worst, they seen you at your best. They know what makes you angry. They know who's hurt you. They know which friend talked about you that you still chilled with. They know that even when the chips was down, they could call you at 3:00 in the morning and you was rocking with them, and it's coming to an end. Yeah. See, people, when it comes to us, our existence, we exist on 3 planes. I'm not super. Let me break that down for you. We're spirits. We have a physical body. And then we have conscious. We have a thought process. We have a way of doing things. So we're 3 people trying to fight one battle. So when it comes to that emotional part,
hey cutie,
we can go to the gym all day and we can feed the physical aspect of ourselves. We go to church. We feed the spiritual aspect of ourselves. But we don't have any mental health. We don't have any release valve. We don't have any accountability and safety. And we keep, because it's our naked place, because it's our vulnerable place, what we do is we hide under lock and key, and only 1 or 2 people come into that room anyway. And generally, one of those people is the person you're in a relationship with. So the truth of the matter is that person drives you into a depression because now that's it. You don't have any more accountability. You've put everything you are into that person. So when that person, they're taking you with them. We just have to learn to take our power ourselves and know that life is going to go on. You're going to keep breathing. You're going to keep living. Yep. You just got to let it go.
Okay. So we got a lot of comments. Hold on, Kev. I got a lot of comments I want to catch up on because they going hard in the paint in the comments. So let's see. We'll start.
Can we go to Lilia?
Yeah, we'll get to it. I'm gonna read the rest of them though, because everybody comments matter. You get it?
I see what you did there.
Comfortability. Cherry said comfortability can be toxic. Ashley's clapping. Let's get to Lilia's because Lilia's relationships are one of the hardest things we work on in life. We can never stop working at it. You better not. The day you stop working is the day you lose it. Willette says, right. Because, wait a minute. This is a comment in response to Ashley's question. Oh, there it is. Ashley says, where can I find a man like that? Is he on Amazon? Willette comment says, right. He's a Prime member. So he got to me in 2 days. So that's pretty cool. Anthony Alvarez comments and says, true. Lilia says, it's hard to break someone's heart. See, can I comment on that? It is hard to break someone's heart. What's hard is picking up your heart after it's been broken.
Exactly.
You have to consider which part is hardest for you, in my opinion. Cherry said, that's a great way to explain it. Lydia said she's on her 3rd marriage, as am I, and I'm ready to give up. I mean, I understand that. Cherry says that yes, exactly. You're really breaking up with a part of you that you invested in each other. Lilia says, I've been crying for 2 years. Noah is coming to an end, and he seems to have no clue that it's ending. I'm gonna let Kevin respond to that. I think that's what you want to
Yes,
jump on.
yes. I know her very well. Okay.
Mm,
Um, and I've talked to her. We communicate, and she is so much like her cousin. I was related. I was married to her cousin. That's my ex that passed away, and she, in a lot of ways, I see a lot of. She has a really good heart, by the way. Um, but here's the thing: when you invest so much, when you're so scared to of a toxic relationship, gone down the wrong path so many times, it becomes unhealthy to you. Now, let me get a little close. I need for people of like, don't give up in yourself. I will say, when you know the relationship is over, then let it be over. If the other person doesn't figure it out, don't kill yourself over it. Because when you do, your health starts to decline. I've seen this happen. I've lost somebody close, and I'm gonna take a moment on that one too because I don't want to see anyone else lose their life over depression of a relationship that should have been over. Okay, I've seen it. It hurts. It hurts everybody around you. It affects everybody around you too.
sure.
So what I want to be clear on though. You're healthy, but get your mental mind state right and live for yourself. Now, granted, you have grandkids. You got grandkids, and you got your, my. I still call them my cousins, but your grandkids are what makes you tick, Vettel. And I'm gonna speak to you directly. Your grandkids speak to you, and they live for you, and you live for them. That's what makes you happy. That's the road you should take. Stay happy.
That's right.
And if the relationship don't work with your significant other, so be it. A lot of us don't have that in us to say, so be it. You know
Yeah,
what? There's some others that's been on their fifth marriage and finally find their significant other to live the rest of their life with.
that's right.
Some they're still on their seventh and eighth. But don't give up because if
That's
you
right.
just put a relationship with God, and I guarantee you're gonna find something for you.
Exactly. Dwayne, I think he's over there chopping at the bit.
No, and I was agreeing because I
Bye, Ashley.
like
Veronica.
you, like you, sir. I mean, ma'am, I've been married. This is my third marriage, and it's not easy,
Mm-hmm.
and it's easy to feel like a failure. I'm not saying this because this is exactly how I used to feel.
Right.
The easiest thing in the world is to feel like you're failing again.
Yeah.
Not just you're failing, but again. And believe me, it doesn't make you feel better when you have to look into the people who saw you happy,
Right.
who commented on your Facebook post, told you how beautiful your family are, and now going to faces and you're like, yeah, we're getting a divorce. Girl, what happened? What's going on? People, everybody see. I've always stayed private, but what I'm need to get into the weeds. Let me just get to what I was going to say.
Mm-hmm.
This is what it has to come down to. You're the only person that knows how much you can take. And if you've gotten to the point where you cannot take anymore, you're going to have to act on your decision.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See, in these 3 marriages, I've been perpetrator and I've been victim. And here's the thing that I learned. You cannot control another person.
You
But
can't.
if you give me, if I love me, right? And I know I don't want to let go of you, but I'm having a hard time doing right by you. And I may not like the fact that I'm doing wrong by you,
Right.
but it's not going to stop my behavior. And I've shown you time and time and time again that that behavior is going to remain unchanged.
Yeah.
You're going to have to make the hard decision to make yourself extremely happy. And it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy out the gate. And it's not going to be easy at moments, even after you've moved on. You might have to battle with some things. You know, scars, like if you ever had an old knee injury, let it start raining or let a thunderstorm be town. Your knees start to feel funny. It ain't happened. You've been over that 10, 15, 20 years and you still feel it in your knees.
Yeah.
So don't think of yourself as a failure and know that you're stronger than everything you're going through. I look at life this way. Every single thing that I go through, I understand that one, I can go through it. I don't have to. The fact that I'm going through it means that I'm capable of coming out victorious,
Right.
coming out on the other side alive.
Yeah.
You might be battered, you might be damaged, and just an encouragement like this right here is what God put in my. There we go. I don't know which way I'm going.
Who is
Okay,
Andre? Who's Aaron? Who's that?
That's my first name.
Oh.
So
Okay.
excessive baggage.
I
I
didn't know
wrote
that.
this book. I wrote this book before this marriage that I'm currently in, and walking out of the last marriage, like I said, this was a person who I felt like my soulmate. This was a person who, in 10 years, it's the hardest thing to walk away from.
Mm-hmm.
And I spent a lot of time crying and a lot of hurt and a lot of painful nights.
Yeah.
And it got to the point, this is my encouragement to you. I said to myself, I got multiple divorces. I got children. I got daughters from both my marriages. And here I am divorced again.
Mm-hmm.
God, I'm never going to have what I want out of a woman. I'm never going to have what I feel like I deserve in a woman. What my list in a woman looks like and had to have what I desired. I was like, there's no way that woman is going to want to do with me.
Mm-hmm.
And then lo and behold, God came along
And bring him
she
Stacy.
looked like she looked like I wanted her to look. She had the ambition I wanted her to have.
Yeah.
She had the Christ I wanted her to have. Everything that I wanted,
Exactly. Yeah.
it was there. And not only was it there, but she not only was willing, desired to love me the way I desired to love her.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
those 2 years of crying, it comes a point, my sister, you got to make a choice.
There we go.
Not to cry
I'm gonna
anymore.
get into it. So,
Exactly. And real quick, I just really want to piggyback and just send a real clear message to her. Vero, I hope you're still watching, and I want you to know we're in the same city. I still consider you family. If you need help, I'm here. I'm always willing to help. I'll drop at a dime, at any time you need, I'm here. But here's what I will give you as far as advice that I've given my past friends, and I've seen this work because it worked for me, and it worked for my friends as well.
Stay put.
Okay.
I'm gonna wear.
Literally, what I want you to focus on is your surroundings. Control your surroundings. You can't, just like Dwayne said, you can't control what other people think and other people do, their feelings, their emotions. You can't control it. You want them to be happy, but they might be crying inside. They might be mad. But control your surroundings. You can control yourself and your whole environment, whether it be something in the room, you want that ceiling fan to spin, turn it on. But make yourself happy by all means necessary by controlling your own environment.
I'm gonna wait for it to unfreeze. All right, so it's gonna freeze. There we
There
go.
it goes.
All right. So, Lilia, my dear, you've been crying for 2 years, knowing it's coming to an end, and he seems to have no clue that it's ending. Let's be clear on something. He knows. He doesn't care. So I'm going to give you straight. Okay? He knows. He knows when you come out of the room and your eyes are bloodshot red because you've been crying all night. He knows. When you feel a certain way and you tell him how you feel about it and he don't make any moves any different, he knows. So at the end of the day, like Kevin and Dwayne both said, you have to make a decision. Don't think for a second that you can't get nobody else because I'm looking at a profile pic and no disrespect, mama, you can get somebody else. It is time out for that. We have to get back to what we know because we came into this world by ourselves. We gonna leave.
She's a beautiful woman. She's beautiful inside and out.
So please understand, this is about you. Period. Love yourself. Look in the mirror. Take your crown. Readjust if you have to. But at the end of the day, you are a queen. Like my man in Coming to America. And he was singing, she's your queen. Listen.
Hey yo, and I'm gonna throw a monkey wrench out there, cause I'm finna volunteer Kev for something that he ain't even.
Monkey.
Hey, look, Kev is gonna cash at me shipping and handling, and I'm gonna send you a free copy of my book. I think there's some stuff in here
right out there, didn't you?
Yeah. I think there's some, because like I'm a realist in my book, and I do, and Lilia, I hope I pronounced your name right. I'm a realist. I understand that sometimes people can give you a Bible verse and tell you that you need to pray, and that ain't enough, because sometimes you know the Bible verse. Sometimes you may even heard everything that we told you, and sometimes you need people just you through the process. Yeah, I know what the process is, but can you just show me how to get there? And that's the reason why I wrote this book, because it was all the times that I cried out for somebody not just tell me a scripture or a message, but somebody who tells me how they applied that scripture and that message to their lives and how it actually works. So we're gonna get you that. I'm gonna get with Kev, and we're gonna get you a copy of the book.
Absolutely. He put Kevin straight out there.
I need the copy too, now. Come on.
Send 2 copies. So 2 shipping and handlers. Do what you got to do. All right, so we're gonna finish up. We're gonna get ready to get out, slide on out of here. But I want to read these 3 comments that Cherish sent, because they were the last comments that I got. But Cherish, I'm assuming this is for you, for my lady, Lilia. Don't lose yourself trying to better yourself. It's hard to be optimistic about the future when prosperity but prosperity and ability can shock you. Plus, break a chain is healthy for both parties, no matter how much it hurts to both of you. You're building your own strength through the storm, whether it feels that way or not. Strength is being built with every single tear. I'm gonna put that up there because I didn't. Every tear. Don't think for a second that God has not gathered every tear that you've cried and put them in this jar. Your blessings on the other side of this is going to be tremendous and epic. God is just waiting for you to get to the other side. When you get to the other side, the floodgates are going to open. But we have to make a decision that I'm going to get to the other side. Because right now, in where we are, it's our normalcy. It's what we see and feel every day. But God is saying, okay, this is what I'm going to do, because the blessing is going to be so epic. This is the analogy that I pulled. I used a couple of years ago. Consider life as a ladder. Okay? And so what are we doing every day? We're learning and progressing. So while we're doing that, we're climbing the rungs of this ladder. We're just trying to get to the top. We're just trying to get to the top. And so when adversity comes, we stop. And God says, okay, I'm going to bless you, sister, or daughter, or son. I'm going to bless you. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that blessing about 4 rungs above your head. So in order for you to get to that blessing, you got to keep climbing. Don't get me started. We're not going to preach today. But I'm saying.
Just your crown, queen. That's what you need to do.
Adjust your crown.
Adjust that crown.
On the other side, I promise you. And so Lily says, I know the process. Hold up. I know the process, and I know how to get there. I'm just tired of doing it over and over again. It's okay. It happens. You know how many times I've said I'm not going to do this and did it anyway? It happens.
But that frustration is natural because we like in the words of the infamous Albert Einstein, insanity is defined doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. And you already know what it is.
The definition of insanity.
You're like the typical good woman.
Yep.
And I think we've all been there. We had a good woman who put on to us even when she could have thrown us back, but she kept rocking with us. And then eventually it's like I can't do this no more.
Yeah.
He knows that as long as you haven't come out and that he's and that's why he keeps going. There's part of him that wants to do the right thing because he don't want to lose you. But that part of him that wants to do the right thing does not respect and value you more than he respect and value his own desires.
There's more face value behind him as a man.
But her comment though, hold on. Her comment was, "I'm not scared of me and where I'm going, and that's good. I'm scared of him and where he's going." Now, but that's a whole different bag of worms right there.
You can't be his mama. Look, he's his own man, and I don't even mean to say it like this. In that case, he's grown. Capable of living like a grown person. You are not responsible. Look, sometimes we hurt ourselves, and this goes beyond relationships like spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband and wife, fiance, whatever. This goes beyond that. You can't continue to try to pour into his life to protect him when he's taking everything and you're not putting anything back in. Eventually, you're gonna break because you're empty. Protect you. You got to protect you at this point, because when you talk about living life for another person on top of your life too, you there's only so much you can do because you're fighting against what he wants, and that's a fight.
It becomes the second job.
It's tiring.
That's a fight you will never win unless what you want and what he wants lines up with each other. Outside of that. That's the stress, that's the depression, that's the crying, and everything else.
All right, last comment.
Just to wrap it up.
Last comment.
Just to wrap that up. Hold on.
Like Kevin said, though, Chair says, you can't worry about the ones that don't care about their own well-being. You're too good for that. If you haven't fixed it or corrected him by now, you won't, and that's okay. And so that's a good comment closer right there. So I want to thank everybody that came through on Facebook. I had one person that come through on Caffeine. Appreciate you. This is the first time on Caffeine TV, so we appreciate it. So make sure you guys go to the website, Knucklehead Chronicles Podcast.com. It is live. This audio will be up. Make sure you subscribe on Alexa, Pandora. We're there as well. And just
hit that replay button.
Hit the replay too. I'm not sure.
Watch the past one.
Replay.
That's some good ones.
All right. So we're going to get out of here. Let me pull up my outro. Y'all have a good one. We'll see you next week. Peace.